شيلة دعوة عن كستبة أضاع على يوم بجو علي وجبي ونعاوسو وقعي البحر عمري بجو
دولة عانو على الله عافي ما تلك المولى دولة عانو وقعي البحر عمري بجو علي وجبي ونعاوسو وقعي البحر عمري بجو يسيقى عرض علي وغدا ولادي ليو نظر عصبي يسيقى عرض علي وغدا ولادي ليو نظر عصبي
يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. I would like to thank Mr. Yusuf Haibe, the ex-president of ISCA, for the great job that he's given this organization for the past year, or since the organization was established. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome him on the microphone.
Thank you. Excuse me a little bit because I've got a cold, so my voice is not perfect. On behalf of the Ethiopian Somali diaspora of Australia, I would like to thank everybody who's participated here, particularly our special guests for tonight, Honorable Adam Bandt, Federal Member of Parliament of Melbourne, and I wish you and congratulations for your second win. Bandt of African Think Tank and lecturer of Melbourne Uni, and Honorable Graham Romanus, of Councillor of Ethiopia and Australia. Am I right? And the wider community. I just want to talk about two issues. One is why this organization was established, and the other is a brief history of the Somali region of Ethiopia. The first one, this organization has been established last year, 2012, and amended to establish bridge and better understanding between the Ethiopian and Somali diaspora of Australia and the people of Australia. And if you can excuse me, I'll just briefly talk to you in Somali. ومهزتين كقبل كان كسوق بالشنعاو وأنا أروكيني وحفلتيني وحكريون إنك عصرها يا إن أنا نقولين ما علم ليسيني أولو كرتكي ما أنت وعقولة إن أنك ورطورني إن أنا الشقيو أيوه إن وعلى غيابه intiina badan inay waddanka tageen inaan tegina inay meesha fadhido way dhici kartaa marka waxaa loo baahan yahay isbeddelka nin TV ka arka iyo nin cagihiisa ku taga oo soo arka in isugu jiraan waxaan u baahannahay in waddanka innaga iskale innagu isugu hayaa school holiday baa jira ciyaalkeennaan geysan karaa shilinkaan haysano waan maal gashan karaa gacmo furan baa laynagu soo dhaweyn marka adhib yaraysanina waddanku waa waddankiinii nin walba ku talagal inaad maal gashato oo tagto oo indhaha ku soo aragto wayna ka heli doontaa
Yusuf, aad baad ugu mahadsan tahay. Thank you very much, Yusuf, for the great speech that you have given us. Ladies and gentlemen, our next guest speaker is, actually I thought I was a good presenter, but I forgot to congratulate Mr. Adam. So I want to congratulate him now for the great win of the election. So I'm sorry. Please welcome Mr. Adam.
This one working? Thank you. Thanks very much for having me here. I'm here as your newly re-elected Member of Parliament, hopefully for another 3 years, but who knows how long this term of Parliament will last. I'm here as your Member of Parliament, but also here as your neighbour. My fiancée Claudia, who is here, and I just live over in the next street, in Princes Street in Flemington. And we're regular visitors down here, and I'm very, very pleased and touched to be invited to come and briefly address you at your general meeting. And I know people have to leave, so I'll keep it very short. I want to say a couple of things. One is that to acknowledge at the start that I think a large part of the reason that I got re-elected was because of many members of the African Australian communities here in Melbourne. And I want to say thank you very much to the people who we worked with over the last little while, and thank you for your support and acknowledge it. And in many ways now it's time for me to repay that and for me to open my door continually to you. And I just want to just mention briefly 3 ways in which I hope that we can continue to work together and I can continue to support you. One is what we can do for your organisation. And I want to congratulate you on having the very excellent foresight and vision to be the first of the local African Australian communities to elect a woman to head the organisation. It's fantastic. And what I want you and your committee and your organisation to know is that my office is your office, and if there's anything we can do to help you in your capacity to organise, to run the meetings, to promote, anything we can do, you are always very, very welcome to come in and use us and our resources to support the local community here in the electorate of Melbourne. Secondly, we are there for the members of your community as well. We spend a lot of time in our office dealing with issues of housing, issues of immigration, other issues of Centrelink, many of those issues that legal issues that people are dealing with, and our motto is that if we can't help you solve the problem, we will try and find someone who can. And so you should feel absolutely free to refer members of your community and your association to come and talk to us whenever they're in need, whenever they need help. Lastly, I would hope that we can work or continue to work on some common projects together. And those common projects can be anything from going to federal parliament to raise some of the matters that we've just heard a little bit about, and that you continue to work on. We can certainly raise those in federal parliament. I'm more than happy always to go and conduct meetings on your behalf if there are meetings with people that need to be conducted, but also some projects in the local area. To give one example of what that might be, there are a number of taxi drivers from Somalia who we are working with at the moment to help them form their own Somali-run taxi company that can operate here in Melbourne. Helping put people through a course and explain how we might do that. And that's something that I think part of my job is to help the local community organise and build capacity. And anything that I can do on that front, I would be very, very pleased to continue to work with you over the next little while to do that as well. So congratulations once again, and we've got a couple of other speakers, but we've just had a week off down at the beach to celebrate, and this is my first official duty since being re-elected, so it's quite an honour to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Adam. That was a great speech, and congratulations again. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome our next speaker. Just a little bit of introduction. Mr. Graham, he's been serving our community, the Ethiopian community, for 17 years or maybe over, and we would like to thank him for the long service that he has been giving to this community, and it's been a great honor that he is with us today participating. And I would like to welcome him as a next guest speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Shafi. And it's been a great honour to have represented Ethiopia here in Australia over the last 17 years. And of course, our little office in Fitzroy has been a very busy office over that time. I want to add my congratulations that Adam has given to the community on electing a woman as leader, turning the tide of politics that we appear to be seeing happening here in the rest of Australia at the moment. So it's good to see this community leading the way, and I hope that your fine example will rub off on other levels of government and organisation. So congratulations, and we look forward to working with you in the future. As Yusuf mentioned, the change of government in Ethiopia in 1991 brought about tremendously big changes, and the creation of the federal state of Ethiopia and its constituent parts, and did open up a tremendous opportunity for each of the nations and nationalities and peoples of Ethiopia to establish levels of self-government, and it's been, I think, a wonderful way forward for the country, and we've seen tremendous developments happen because of that. Of course, we are very saddened by the death of the Prime Minister just a year ago, Meles Zenawi, whose foresight, I think, led to the whole reconstruction of the country with many of his other comrades who'd fought during the war, but certainly his thinking was critical in the development of the federal state, and it's very sad that we have lost him really at the prime of his life, when he was also playing such an important role in Africa within the context of the G20 and others. But we have noticed, of course, that the sky hasn't fallen in Ethiopia in the meantime, and that the new administration which has come in has in some ways broadened the representation in government, and the country is moving forward at a tremendous pace. We boast one of the great economic development figures around the world. The country has boasted economic growth of 10 and 11% for the last decade, and tremendous opportunities that's opened up with the development of schools and universities, health systems, believe it or not, fibre optic cable has now gone out to every regional capital. And of course, we're seeing the development of power infrastructure, which has been very, very important, and now we as a country are self-sufficient in hydropower, which is a great thing, and about to double that capacity of hydropower with the great dam which is being built on the Blue Nile with help from. And I encourage you to contribute by buying bonds to that dam as well, because it is an effort of the whole diaspora to bring that massive dam together. Of course, we've had our tensions with Egypt and Sudan over that, but we're working hard to resolve those tensions. For those of you who don't know, we have recently decided to open an embassy in Canberra, and that'll be a great step forward in relationships between Australia and Ethiopia. An ambassador has been chosen. I'm sorry, I can't tell you who it is yet. We're still waiting on the new government here to approve his appointment, but it will be a tremendous, I think, advantage to us to open an embassy in Canberra. What we have to be really careful of is that we maintain the momentum of the previous government in its relationships, developing relationships with Africa. I think the previous government really moved tremendously forward in the relationships between Australia and Africa. Of course, looked to open a whole range of new embassies across Africa. It could change. We have to be very, very mindful of the possibility of change, and work hard as a community to keep reminding the new government here of the importance of Australia's relationship with Africa. We don't just live in the Asian region, we live in the whole world, and Africa is a very big and important part of it. So I hope that Australia decides to keep up its diplomatic relations, as we have seen develop in Ethiopia with the opening of the embassy there, and its relationships too with the African Union, which come out of that embassy, which has been a very important relationship. The last thing I did want to say was that I'm always aware of the tension that exists within our diaspora between how we become involved back home, at the same time we don't become involved, and we keep to some extent a hands-off relationship. As you know, the Ethiopian government has made it very clear that politics at home is something for people who live in Ethiopia, and it's not something which the government wants the community outside or other communities which have no particular relationship with it to meddle in politics at home. And they've made that very clear in a lot of legislation that's gone through. And that is not inconsistent with what's happened in other parts of the world where governments have made it clear they don't want political campaigning to be funded from abroad. So on one level, I appeal to you to keep active as you can in the ways in which you can support developments in Ethiopia, but on the other hand, as we now live in Australia, also be aware that primarily the responsibility for the development of Ethiopia lies with those who remain there and whose day-to-day lives are affected by decisions which are made back home. Now, I'm just saying I'm aware that there's a tension there. So many of us want to be involved back home, and we've seen some tremendous positive things happen. Abdullah, as you know, has worked hard away with his community to try and build a hospital in Russo. That's tremendous, and that's happened. He's made a different decision, which is to go home and try and get involved in politics back in Somalia itself. That's a decision he's made. But for those of us who still live here, let's work hard at keeping the relationship between our two countries alive, work hard at looking at ways in which we can positively contribute to developments back home, and I think it will be great when our new ambassador arrives that he meets this community, which is a really vital part of a positive relationship that we have between Region 5 and Australia. And I congratulate you on 12 months of working together as a community, 12 months of positive developments that have occurred during that time, and again congratulate you on leading the way in Australia with the election of a woman chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Graham. That was a great speech. I hope that we understood the message. Ladies and gentlemen, our next guest speaker, he doesn't need an introduction that all members of the African community know for the great work that Dr. Burhan does to the African communities that live here in Australia, which is the fact that we live here in Australia as an African community. And the jobs that he has done is just uncountless. I'll be here on the microphone all night long. And he's the Australian of the Year in 2009, and he doesn't need no introduction further than this. So I would like to welcome Dr. Burhan. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. Brothers, friends, mothers and sisters, and thank you, Shirkii, for the introduction. And first, I'd like to congratulate, and I wish there was one of the medias here today, would have been a good article for tomorrow. Australia led by Muslims, women leading them, where Abbott is led by men and not doing the right job. So it would have been the best example if the media would have had the chance to be here, because this is the best article they can get for tomorrow's sale, because it is something that in Australia is becoming an issue of where are the women in our leadership. So we are leading by example, and this is what's all about our communities. We bring in something that with our resilience and commitment to build Australia and to build ourselves and to build our communities back home. I'd like to share with you as a brother, as a friend, as a father, if I'm older than anyone, that we have got two missions. Our mission is to be strong communities in Australia, because a strong community here is strong anywhere. And every strength of our community is the strength of our individuals. We need to build, and this is a question to all of us. Whatever been said, one thing that we don't need to miss, the coming century, the one we are in, is an education and knowledge challenge for the world. The world is open and can be reached, whether our small villages in Africa or the big cities in Paris and London and New York. We can reach them by any means. So first we need to advocate the human right, the principle, basic rights of our people. We stand united. If one person is hurt of us, we are all hurt. And that's what Islam says. So that's our principle. And I'm really happy to see Ethiopia is flourishing and bringing the people. And I was, as you all know, on the other side of the Ethiopia was Eritrea, which we've gone through the same agony, suffer, that all of us, being especially under the emperor, if you're not on the tenth of that religious leadership, you're out of that question. So we all experienced the suffer for centuries. Now, how do we claim our place in the region, in the world? The only pathway we have is to strengthen our kids in education. Whatever we do will only measure tomorrow when our kids fail or succeed. People will see us in 10, 20, 30 years. What have we done? And Islam, in principle, says, Al-ilm min mahdi lillah, from the cradle to grave. That Islam is. Even one day in your life, you have to attain education. So being that our mission, being that our principle, and I'm sure we have got nothing to gain in this country but education. And to be honest, one thing that we need to learn, the Jewish have a power everywhere in the world, not because they have the largest population in the world. They are the minority in every sense, but they have a strength of lobbying, strength of participating. Having Adam with us tonight is a way that our community have to participate in the process. We cannot help our people by just sitting together and talking to each other. We have been doing that for many years, and I share this with many members of our communities. As much as we are all divided, we all have got the pain of our families back home. So to avoid that, and I'm really like to congratulate you for the leadership that you're taking to stay in advocating and standing for the voice of the people that they need our voice. Our people need us more than any time now. They need us because we can advocate on their behalf. We can tell the world now what is happening. But if we don't do that with education, with the skills, no one is there to listen to us. And I'm sure Australia has given us all the opportunity that anyone can get, and every opportunity in this country is within a striking distance of us, and that is important with our kids. I'm exactly like you. I feel all the pain that you feel, but we are not going to just share feeling of pain. We have to share success together. In coming 5, 10 years, our kids should be standing tall, standing in business, standing in parliament, standing in sport. One voice from them that will bring all attention here, and no one dare to stop us. No one is going to say you are a Muslim because you are educated. You are as everyone standing there. Now we have a double crisis. We are blacks, we are Muslims. So how do we overcome that? By being educated, by being contributing to the bigger slice of this society. They welcomed us, they gave us all the opportunity. So let's take that opportunity and give them back the best of our religion that says, فَمَنْ عَمَلَ عَمَلًا صَالِحًا فَلِنَفْسِهِ وَمَنْ أَسَاءَ فَعَلَيْهِ. We are the people that to lead in a good deeds. If we do the bad, which reflect against our principles. So, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. And thank you for the leadership. And I'm looking forward to help and to work with you. As an Africans, we have one name, one vision, and that is our kids out there. No one knows Ethiopian, Somali, Eritrean, Sudan. Everyone is African out there. And our kids have that name. So how do we make them strong, united, leading them in the right direction? They will all be the future leaders. Inshallah.
Thank you, Mr. Graham. That was thank you, Dr. Burhan. Now I would like to welcome our newly elected president, Al Khair. Al Khair, of course, doesn't need an introduction. She's a lady that has done many works throughout the community, helping the African community, the Somali community, the Ethiopian communities, and she's a mother. Since she came into this organization, she's really been very active with her brilliant ideas how we should move forward, and we are really grateful that we have her in our organization at the beginning, and today the members have elected her as a president. So congratulations once again, Al. Okay, now I will welcome her on the microphone. Thank you.
Thank you, Shirkii, for the good introduction. Okay, thank you, everyone. As newly elected chairwoman or chairperson or president, whichever, but I won't call chairman. Well, and again, thank you, Adam, Ram, and Dr. Burhan, all of you, for congratulating me. Well, it's a new position for me. This is the first time I've become a chairperson. But I've worked many years in the community, since 1991, 92 basically, since the Somali civil war broke out. But just to give you a bit of background about myself, I was born in Dridawa, Ethiopia. I'm Somali Ethiopian, and I'm proud to say I'm Somali Ethiopian because it's been a long, long time since I put the two names together. That we have, and the federal system that we got, and the current administration of Somali Ethiopia region, Region 5, which really brought our region into light. And we are very proud to be part of that region. And we, as a community here, we are also, we never come together like this. And we were, of course, Somalis, but we were with the rest of our Somali colleagues and our Somali, fellow Somalis. But today, since last year, we established this organization. We become really very close, and we've been working under the direction and U.S. President, I can call him, I guess now, Mr. Yusuf. So I'm looking forward in the future to work with everyone in the community. I know with my experience of working previously with numerous community organizations and having a social work background myself, so I'm looking forward to involve with different levels of different communities in different level. So yes, I'm not going to say I'm a mom and I'm a woman, but I'm not lesser than anybody else. So I'm bringing to the table and along the people who were elected this afternoon, I'm not the only one who are going to lead this organization. But everyone needs every one of us. We need each other. So I'm looking forward to work with everyone in the community, and also we look forward to work with the Member of Parliament, with Karam, with the Dr. Burhan, with everyone who can give us a support in terms of moving forward and helping our community here locally, and also our people in back home who needs our assistance. So I look forward to a bright future.
Thank you, Khair. That was a great speech. Thank you very much, Mr. Graham, for coming, and thank you, Mr.
That's amazing.
That's right. Well done. Thank you very much. Yes. Thank
galab wanaagsan halkan galabta waxaa ka dhacay shir ay soo qabanqaabiyeen ururka ismaamul goboleedka dowladda Ethiopia ee kalinka halkaasoo xaflad ballaaran oo loogu dabaaldegayo sanad guuradii ururkan oo halka ka asaasnaa halkaasoo lagu doortay haddana gudoomiye cusub oo loogu doortay gabar Khayr la yiraahdo oo garabkayga taagan Khayr ka waran doorashada halka ka dhacday ururka arrintiisa galabta
wallahi doorasho aad iyo aad u fiicneed bay ahayd dadkuna aad bay u mahadsan yihiin waxaan la rajaynayaa inaan maaragtay aan ku dadaalo wixii loo baahan yahay inaan dadka u qabto dalka iyo Australia dhexdeedii iyo deegaankaba dadkii naga joogay inaan wixii aan u qaban karno aan u qabano
ururkan hadda imisa ayuu jiray oo ka asaasnaa dalkan Australia
wuxuu ururku jiray adigu sanad iyo wax la jiro laakiin sanad guuradiisii ugu horreeyay weeye marka dadkii soo hayay ururka soo waday ayaa hawshoodii dhameeyay ninkii presidentka ka ahaa ururka oo Yusuf Haybe ahaa aad iyo aad isaguna maaragtay hawsha soo waday iyo intii la shaqeynaysay oo dhan oo aniguna ka mid ahaa intii dambaba marka aad bay u soo wanaajiyeen ururka si fiican buu soo wadeen hawlo badanna uu soo qabtay marka haddana waxaan rajaynayaa hawlihii oo inaan hore u sii wadno oo isaga waqtigiisa mar walba wax weeye in wax lagu kordhiyo maahine dib looma socon karo marka inaan hore u wadno iyo aan wax qabad siyaado oo badan inaan keeno weeye
sida iga muuqanaysay magacyo iyo lacag la bixinayo iyo ururka members cusub halka galabta ku soo biiray Soomaaliya oo intii ka badan
ها والله وانت فلنا وادي الموجود بدنيهين members بدن بايا صبيري registration أصل وده سمية يا ده انت registration كي قرض يدك هو رأي يقول renewal بسمية ويا وحوي قانون كم تهاي إن سنة كي ما درت الشيء ما دو annual general meeting قبته أي دور شكل على ويا democratic ماشي بس كفر دين ما جو وقفوا كل الدنيا بكوين كله شو صوت ديك عصوب وصوت على ماشى فريشمان ما كمان تروح نادي هو فرح سنة هاي إن ما عرفت هي دلوقتي على شقينا قبلها وماشى أقوم الشقينا إلى ما تيجي دورتين المسؤولية ده عن بعضه والمسؤولية ده دوين لكن محرجين إن كسب حابي لا يلا
ururkan waxaa tiri hal sano jiray sidaan taariikhda kula soconana xilligii madaxweynaha uu dalkan yimi iyo wafdigiisa madaxweyne ku-xigeenka ka xilligaasi ku aadan tahay ma arrimo uu ka dambeeyay madaxweynaha mise waa ka horreeyay ururka asaaskiisu mise waa miro ka dhashay imaanshihiisii iyo markii dalkan Australia wafdiga ku yimaadeen
miro ka dhashayna way tahay dadkii magaalada joogay oo iga horreeyay oo soo abaabulay ururkana Yusuf Haybi iyo niman lamid ah oo magaalada aad iyo aad active u ahaa oo deegaanka u dhashay ayaguna soo abaabuleen weeye marka anaguna waanu sii wadnay waxaan aad ugu faraxsanayn inuu madaxweynuhu noogu yimaado dalkan aad iyo aad u fog adduunyada dabadeeda ah inuu nagu fikiray uu noo yimid oon halkan kula kulannay taasina farxad weyn bay noo ahayd marka taasina waxay nagu sii dhiirigelisay inaanu maaragtay hawsha si fiican u sii wadno oon maaragtay halkan dadkeennii anagu aan yani ka mid aanu nahay inaan si fiican ula wada shaqayno oon wax ula qabanno
sida caadada badanaa tahay dadkan Afrikaanka ma doortaan leadershipka uma doortaan madaxnimada dumarka arrintaas u galabta wax cusub iyo kugu ahay markii halka doorashadu ka dhacday
والله واحد صب وإلهك لكن هذا واحد يلمو قوي زي واحد عساب دوامي ويا وحنوارتي لمن يقول على هاي أنت هران وكنت تحتري وحوالك قبلي ودحرمي marka waxa uu arkay in meesha wax isbedel ay ka muuqanayeen magaciiuna la bedelay uma yani anigu arkaa oo wax deemaad rajaday arkayaan inaan waxba qaban kareenin imay doorteen laakiin ayagana aad bay ugu mahadsan yihiin oo waxa waa fursad aad iyo aad u fiican in ma daragtay la siiyo dumarkana fursadda way wanaagsan tahay mar walba sidaad u aragtay waxaan ugu jirnaa xagga dambe hawsha inta badan meel walba dumar baa wax ka qabta marka waxa weeye maanta in dumarkiina ay ma daragtay hawshii ay u soo baxaan aan dadaalno waxa weeye waa wax loo baahan yahay nimanka walaalaha oo meesha iyaguna doorashada maanta ku doortay aad bay iyagu u mahadsan yihiin waxaan rajaynayaa disappointed iyo dumarkii waana I will never forget you you always be with me marka waxa weeye saas iyaguna aad iyo aad bay ugu mahadsan yihiin gabdhaha iyo dumar iyo raggaba iyo soo doortay aad bay mahadsan
waa mahadsan tahay taas waxay ahayd u maqayd dhanka kalena waxaan jeclahay inaan waraysto guddoomiyihii dhanka kalena waxaan jeclahay inaan waraysto guddoomiyihii ahaa ninkii helay oo ururkan asaasay ka hirgeliyay dalkan Australia ururkan gobolka ismaamul goboleedka dowladda Ethiopia Yusuf Haybe Yusuf galabta halkan doorasho ka dhacday ma aqbashay sida lagaga guuleystay
والله horta leegama guulaysan sababtoo ma tartamayna anagu qofkii soo qaban qaabay inuu ma khayr la doortaan ahaa sababtoo kaalinta haweenka kaalin rag oo meelaha la yaacay arka waa inaan arna kaalinta dumarkana waxay qaban karaan oo waliba aan anigu aad iyo aad ugu kalsoonahay in ay hadda waqtigan haweenku garan karaan hawshu meesha u socoto iyo waxa la qabta ragga waxaad moodaa hawlo badan inuu hadda kula dhexday marka waanu aaminay umar khayr waanuna taageersanahay meesha noo kacaysana waan ku raacaynaa
waa mid aan looga baran ragga Soomaalida waa mid aan looga baran ragga Soomaalida inay xil iska wareejiyaan oo qof kale ay keenaan in uu shaqada qabto marka arrin cusub iyo bayj cusub baa furtay taas soo markaa ma cadeynayso Yusuf
والله هرتو ما ندورنا وادو من دورتا وين لا شقيسay waanu aragnay hawshadan aragnay waanu aaminay
Yusuf mid kale adigu ururka markaa gudoomiyaha ka ahayd oo asaastay sidan taariikhda kula socdo dalkii ayaa dib ugu laabatay markii aad tagtay dhulkii oo jigjiga iyo halkaa ka degtay maadaama haddana isku sii daba maray bal maxaa nooga taaban kadhaa arrintii iyo waxaad kala kulanto aadan ka filay xagga arrintaa waxay nooga taaban
والله horta run ahaantii anigu waddankaasaan wax ku bartay ku dhashay magaalada jigjiga caasimadda aan high schoolka kaga baxay muddo 30 sano ku dhowna waan ka maqnaa marka waad garan kartaa isbedel 30 sano isbedelkiisa waad garan kartaa hataa waxaan garan waaya gurigaan taganaa marka waxaa kaloo aniga fajixisay u ahaydba ismaamulka Soomaalida kale iska daar sabaankaan ka soo qaatay ilaa jijjiga ilaa inta aan socday iyo intaan joogay laba qof oo xataa murmaysa maana arag iska daa wax taqaano
waddan barakaysan
waa mahadsan tahay haddana bal dadweynaha gabdhahan su'aal yar
xafada waxaan wadaa xarwad aad iyo aad u xafada inay tahay gabadha leeyahay waxay anuu ogeyn arrinta dhammaan saxda ka soo galay ma sha Allah anaa ku guleeyay maamulkay wado xafada waxay ku fuusan dadkuna dadkeeni marka insha Allah taala waxaan rajaynaynaa inay hirgasho xoog yeelato insha Allah
waa mahadsan tahay
حي عروس